this is Heather Pickin, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the ways women sabotage their success. If you're a man and you can resonate with this, stay tuned, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage. Mine just happens to be coffee. And let's dive into today's topic. But first, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel, push that bell notification, thumbs up, and drop a comment below and let me know what way you are sabotaging your success the most. Now, a little bit about me and my work. I work with ambitious, driven women leaders and entrepreneurs who are stuck. They know it's not a marketing tactic, and they're trying to get to that next level of success. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about this conversation and some of the ways that I find, women that are very, I should say, have a high intellect, but what happens is that they get in their own way. So let's talk about number one. Number one is so important. And if you don't master this, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you're always going to find yourself feeling stuck and feeling restless because you're going to try to use your intellect to get out of this. And this is really about owning your worth, realizing that you are worthy. Now, this worthiness piece is so important. And this is why no matter how many certifications, master's degrees, PhDs someone has, or you have multiple PhDs, right? You can't outsmart your subconscious mind. So the worthy piece, where does this come from? Well, it happens at a very young age, never feeling like you can measure up. You could never do anything good enough. So take a look at your childhood to see when you never felt like you were enough. So when you're not feeling like you're not enough or you're not worthy, I want to show you what happens in your business as a result. You start taking on clients that are an energy drain. You start distracting yourself with things that are not really focused on your highest vision, mission, and purpose. You will actually not charge your worth, right? Your true value. And what happens is you start, as a result, you will start feeling upset. You will actually start feeling resentful of other people. So knowing that worth really comes down to I matter. I am here to make my mark. And these are the people I work with. I am here to work with people that want to make their mark. They want to make a difference in the world. They want to get paid for it and really feel that they deserve it. But as you reach these new levels, it's true. It's like a new devil. So knowing your worth, when you know your worth, what happens is that you will align with the right people, the right resources. And what's interesting, in my past relationships, and a great marriage now, but I would attract these men where I would not value myself enough. I did not see my worth. And as a result, I would attract men that would not value me, and they would tell me what to do, and I would just be all in my head and I would try to please them. And it's just so crazy. So just know you can have a high intellect, but if you're not standing in your true power, if you don't value yourself enough and feel that you're worthy, then you'll take on the energy draining projects. You'll take on the clients that are a mismatch. I have done that. I am so guilty of it. And this is why I can have this conversation, because I've seen all the signs and symptoms. So you really want to, number one, identify if you have this piece. The second thing in how women sabotage their success, boundaries. No boundaries. You have no boundaries. What does that look like? Well, if we're talking in a context of a business, you make yourself available for all of your clients and you don't have any you time or to focus on whatever you want to focus on. So look at where, if in your business, if you have no boundaries, what is showing up for you? Are you dropping everything because a client said, hey, I need your help? and then you have to run to the rescue. So we can look at that boundary issue in a relationship, and we can also look at this in a personal relationship. So are you doing the same thing in your personal relationships? As women, we have been raised to be people pleasers all day long. I have broken that cycle, but I will tell you, I have definitely have had in the past no boundaries. And as a result, my business went down and my relationships were all over the place. So put a comment below. Do you have an issue with boundaries? The third thing, or third way women sabotage their success, is they constantly seek the need of approval of other people. Now, I will tell you, if you cannot make an empowered decision for yourself, you will never move forward. If you make the opinion of other people more important than yourself, it is going to be very challenging. Now, there is a word that I know a lot of women identify, and it's this, or phrase, giving yourself permission. When women don't give themselves permission to do something, take action on whatever, maybe you had an idea. Let me give you actually a story of a client that I worked with. So this client came to me and she was already making 7 figures, and she wanted to kind of bring her business to the next level. And she had this juicy idea that was so in alignment. And we really focused on fleshing out what her vision was. And what was interesting, after we got done, she got so crystal clear and so excited, like she was on fire. And what happened, it was like a day later, she texted me and she said, "Oh, I told somebody else about this and they didn't like it. And so I just don't know if I should move forward with it." And I said, "Are you crazy? Why did you hire me? You were 100% in alignment." And I said, "No, you need to do this. You need to give yourself permission and do what you thought was a brilliant idea." And you know what? She took my advice and her business went to the next level. It was so exciting to see how one decision of giving yourself permission can take you to that next level of success. Another way in which women sabotage their success is they give up when it gets too hard. I want to be very transparent. There have been times in my business, in my life, when I want to give up. I just wanted to throw in the towel. And thankfully, I hired coaches and mentors. And I feel if this is you, if you know you're a woman on a mission, you want to make your mark, you're in your own way, you are freaking brilliant with who you are and what you stand for, I highly recommend you invest in a mentor. You get into some kind of program, because what that will do, it will help you to let go of, sometimes we don't see our own blind spots. And that's when I was involved in coaching and mentoring programs, I needed someone to kind of say, you know what, this is why you're getting in your own way. And so realize as you evolve to the next level, you've got a big mission, vision, and purpose. You will always have more challenges. So get used to it. And I get it. It gets tough. But if you know you're here to make your mark, you have to keep going. It is literally a mental barrier in your mind that is stopping you. Just like I mentioned before, giving yourself permission to do something and not seeking the approval of other people. I guarantee you, if you focus on just getting to that end result, the challenges will shrink. You got to shrink those challenges in your mind. And this is why people enter my world because I'm kind of a master magician of the mind. I really help people to get a grasp of any challenge that they have in their business. We focus mostly on business, but there are other areas of their life where they feel stuck that's bleeding into that next level of their success, where you have to masterfully break through that level of sabotage in order to evolve and move forward. Another way in which women sabotage their success is the perfection idea, where I cannot do this. I cannot take action, put myself out there, do more videos, launch my website, launch my program, whatever idea that you want to put out there in the world until it's perfect. I'm here to tell you, girlfriend, it's never going to be perfect. When I put stuff out there online, yes, I do focus on mastery. I do get it to a level where I feel that this looks good. So I'm not saying to put something out there that looks like crap. Okay. I'm not saying that. But when you get in this idea of it has to be perfect, you never get your stuff out there. So what you want to do is just realize that it's never going to be perfect. It's perfect enough. Okay. So you can tell yourself it's perfect enough. Now, I find a lot of women that are high achievers have been raised with that perfection type of attitude. Like you have to get straight A's, you've got to be perfect. They've been raised by parents that have drilled in their mind, if they mess up, if we're talking about grades, if they're not getting straight A's, if they get a C, then the world is on fire. And it's interesting because I find in different cultures that is more prominent with some of the clients that I've worked with. Now, you can actually turn that around and use that as fuel, but that is for another video. But just identify, is this sabotaging my success that I somehow have to be perfect? You will never be perfect, or I should say you are perfect exactly the way that you are, and you just need to go for it. Another thing I want to talk about in ways that women sabotage themselves is they're all over the place. They're like, well, I'll just go with the flow. I am all about flow, but all flow and no goals is a recipe for disaster. And here's why. Your brain is an order-seeking organism. And what that means, it wants a direction, it wants an endpoint, and it wants a goal. So when I work with clients in the Vision Method programs, whether it's a program or private coaching, what I do is I help them to reorganize their mind so that they're focusing, drilling on a goal. So let's put this in a business context. Let's just say we focus on a 30-day goal for you to gain clarity on a specific aspect of your business. Now, here's what's interesting about the brain. When the brain doesn't feel overloaded and overwhelmed, and you really give it that laser target, it will find the answer. And why that happens, or I should say how that happens, is there's something in the brain called the executive center. And what that does, it is responsible for finding the answers. It's actually located in the frontal lobe. And so once you really focus and you ask yourself a question and you really focus, you become obsessed with what you want to do in this example, then you will find the answers. The brain is kind of like this missile, and it will exactly lock in to your answers. So you really do want to be focused. Now, I will say this about being focused and having a goal. Recently, I got married, and one of my goals was to get into really great shape. And it wasn't like I was in bad shape, but I really felt like I was not at my best. And I am a woman who wants to master every area of my life. I never stop with my goals. So I set a goal and I was so freaking laser focused. So I started off with kind of like a mini plan, 30-day. I had my longer goal, gave myself enough time. And it was so liberating and so amazing. And it really speaks true to when you focus on something, when you really focus on a goal and you give yourself a time your mind will align with it. Now, I actually have another fitness goal. I'm actually getting ready for a photo shoot in November for fitness, and I'm doing some more branding stuff. I'm going to the next level, and it's so cool. It's just so amazing to have goals. So I'm really obsessed about goal setting. And I will say a sidebar, it's important to really set goals that are in alignment with you. And that is something that I teach in my programs. It's fingerprint specific. If you set the wrong goals, everything's gonna go off the rails. Another way in which women sabotage their success is they're unfocused and they're overwhelmed. So we talk about setting goals, right? And you actually need to be focused. But when you're scattered and you're overwhelmed and it looks something like this, you're doing everything. You're doing kind of a lot of busy work because of the worthy piece that I talked about earlier. A lot of women do that, and it is a distraction. So when you're overwhelmed, when you're not focused, when you're not disciplined, how do you expect to get to the next level? So this is something that I have developed throughout the years. I am a master at developing focus. I'm a master at developing discipline. And one of the reasons why this is, telling you like a little story, I talked about my fitness goals. So years ago, I really wanted to get in good shape. Now, my body was all over the place. I really had a poor self-image. And what happened, and I do share this in all my videos, or I should say all my videos, a lot of my videos, but this is really important. So I was not focused. I did not have a goal. Okay. I didn't have a lot of self-worth. And I just made a decision one day that I was going to do it. I was going to get into better shape. I was going to conquer. I was going to master this thing, my physique that was in alignment with me. And I was watching this movie. Here's what really changed it for me. I was watching this movie, The Terminator, with Sarah Connor, or I should say Linda Hamilton. She was the actress and she played the character Sarah Connor. And there's a scene where she's doing pull-ups and I'm like, she looks buff. I want to look like her, but how am I going to give up my Chunky Monkey ice cream and pizza, right? You know what I mean? But anyways, I allowed that part of my mind to be small because I was focused, laser focused, and dialed in on my goal. And what happened 6 months later, I had complete strangers come up to me and say, you look like Linda Hamilton from that movie, The Terminator. Remember she's doing the pull-ups? And it was so crazy. And so what that did in that moment, it helped me to rewire my brain. It helped me go to that new level and really wire in that discipline and focus. So in the vision journal, I'll show you my vision journal. This is what I teach. And you actually can buy in the link below my mass marketable vision journals. I have what's called a lean journal and a structured journal. I highly recommend people start with the structured and then move to a lean. But that video is, or I should say, talking about the journals is another video in and of itself. So my question to you is, where are you most distracted? Where do you feel overwhelmed? And do you see how it's sabotaging your success? The last thing I want to talk about in how women sabotage their success is they will have a set point, a success set point. Now, what does that look like? What exactly does that mean? Let's just say you've accomplished a certain amount of money in your business, making 10, 20, 50,000 a month in your business. And all of a sudden you get really comfortable hanging out there and it doesn't grow. Nothing changes. No matter how much you're doing like the marketing stuff, nothing seems to change. Why is that? Well, here's what happens. Just like you can have a set point in your body, you're kind of fighting it mentally and physically, and you can push past that. It's the same thing with this success point. It is absolutely mental. And what's interesting is that you have to create a new identity. You've got to see yourself in a new light. So if you're going from 10K to 50K a month, you really have to see yourself at another level. So that would be part of the solution. And I teach this in my programs and working one-on-one, but I want to talk about why this success set point is such a block for a lot of women. It goes back to the worthiness piece. It also is really about what happens, the fear. Okay. So if I reach this next level in my business, let's just say it's business, what are some of the fears that are showing up for me? So you want to identify and write those down and how you're sabotaging your success. Now, consciously, your conscious mind is saying, oh no, girlfriend, I totally want to do that. But in reality, if you see what is showing up and you see the action or inaction, where you are stopping and where you're stuck, then that's a block. That is something that you need to address. Now, I have seen this success point at every single level. So no matter where you're at, number one, don't beat yourself up. Don't make yourself wrong. Just realize, wow, I kind of put this success set point on myself. Think about how remarkable your subconscious mind is holding you back. So I look at things more in a place of curiosity. And here's the thing, if you want to change it, you're one decision away from your breakthrough. So I hope this video helped today, and realize that you're not alone. And if you would like more information about my programs, make sure you go to link below, grab your vision journal. Let's move forward. Let's be fearless in creating this amazing vision. Until next time, this is Heather Pickin, and live your vision.